Alright guys, and welcome back to the Saints View, the channel for Southampton content for our preferred 11 ahead of Saturday's first game back at St. Mary's, this time against Liverpool. So I think we just get straight into it. Now, in terms of formation, I've gone with a 4-2-2. That's the formation I'd like to see this team play with. Unfortunately, we saw 5 at the back up at Burnley. It clearly didn't work. We still looked very shaky. I do think it will be the same situation on Saturday, but this is obviously the preferred 11, and I'd like to see a back 4 with 2-2 in front of it. Now, starting with the goalkeeper is, of course, Angus Gunn. Didn't really cover himself in much glory on Saturday up at Burnley in the opening game. That arguably at fault partially for the first goal. Did make a good recovery save later on, but overall he didn't do much that was good, and so he just needs to improve on that. I thought distribution was okay from him, and it's very clear that he's still our best goalkeeper. At right back, another player who didn't cover himself in glory, but I don't think it's a case of he should be dropped. That's Jan Valery. I thought at times he looked lethargic, like he didn't really care. In all honesty, he put one very good ball in for Shea Adams very early on, and after that it didn't really happen for him. Defensively, I thought he looked a little bit shaky, didn't really track back much. I really was not impressed with him because he can do a lot better, so hopefully he can pull his finger out and have a much better performance whilst marking the very dangerous Sadio Mane. At centre-back, I'd like to see a debut for our brand new player, Kevin Danso. It's a case of he can't really do much worse than what the other centre-backs did up at Burnley and sort of did all of last season really. We need a new fresh face in that defence, and hopefully he can be that man. 6'3", he's a very physical presence, still young, so he may be a little bit naive, especially when playing a big team like Liverpool, but I think we need to throw him in there, and if he can sort of have a decent performance against the likes of Salah, Mane, Firmino, then his confidence will soar and we'll have a very good player on our hands. Alongside him, I'd like to see Jan Bednarik. I thought Vestergaard was very poor up at Burnley, which I was disappointed about because going into the new season I personally felt he was probably our best centre-back. The case with Bednarik is the fact that he's more of the interceptor, the tackler, whereas Vestergaard you'd like to think would be the aerial duel winner, but it's very clear to me that he can't actually jump. So hopefully Danso can complement him with his big physical presence, and then Bednarik can sort of be the one who intercepts, and they complement each other at the back. At left back, another player who I wasn't impressed with on Saturday, he can do a lot better than what he provided, is Bertrand. He's quite lucky that he's got a youngster in Jake Vokins backing him up, because it looks like his left back spot is pretty much sealed. He really needs to put in a better performance this time. More defensively, I thought offensively he looked okay, but if you look at the third goal, it looked like he'd been fouled, but he hadn't really, just lost the ball. He got caught off guard, and it's just poor from him. I think he really needs to do a lot better on Saturday, because like I say, he's got a really difficult test with Mo Salah most likely the man he has to look after. Now, going on to the defensive midfield, I'd like to see Oreo be given a start once again. I thought he was fantastic in the first half against Burnley. Second half he was quiet, only because the whole team crumbled once that first goal went in. And alongside him, I'd like to see Pierre Højbjerg. Hopefully he's back from illness. Well, he was able to come off the bench, so I'm sure he's fine. We missed that leadership in the middle. We missed that leadership on the pitch. Hopefully he can provide that and add a little bit of extra sort of solidity in the middle. In front of them, I'd like to see Nathan Redmond and Ward-Prowse. Redmond tried his best on Saturday, but it just wasn't happening for him. He forced a very good save from Nick Pope, and that was pretty much it. He tried, but nothing really fell for him. Ward-Prowse, I thought, was very quiet on Saturday. Won some balls in the middle, but apart from that, he didn't really do that much. I think the way this system works is he needs to be doing a bit more defensive work as well as the attack, whereas Redmond fully is just an offensive player. Ward-Prowse also needs a good performance on Saturday because his place is in jeopardy with Sofiane Boufal coming back into the fold, and obviously having the new signing Moussa Djenepo available. Finally then, up front, I'd like to see Danny Ings accompanied by new signing Shea Adams. Adams of course didn't get a goal on his debut, but he has got a home debut to make amends for that. Obviously it's a very tough opponent, and this is why he wants to come to the Premier League. He wants to be playing these teams, so hopefully he can impress against a big side like Liverpool. As for Ings, I thought he was pretty quiet on Saturday. Some even are calling for him to be dropped. I disagree with that. It's more a case of he needs to be played down the middle because he's not pacey at all. He's very good footballer on the ball and off the ball, but he's not got the pace of a wide player, so I'd rather see him stay central and then Adams be the one who drifts in and out wide. If either of them can receive balls in the box, I would back either of them to put them away. I think both of them are very good finishers. It's just a case of how they create the chances and how they sort of use the chances that may be provided and hopefully are provided. Right then, that is the end of the video. Let us know the team you'd like to see and the formation played on Saturday. Remember to leave a like if you have enjoyed the video, subscribe if you're new, make sure you're following us on our socials, and we'll see you on Saturday for the big game back at St. Mary's.